It's Friday Night Lights. The hot dogs are cooking, and it's time for some high school football. This is Kyle Smith alongside John Walls for the Elk Grove Television Game of the Night. It's the Elk Grove Grenadiers against the Maine East Blue Demons in an IHSA battle here on Channel 6 and Facebook Live. Good evening, everybody. We hope that you're at the stadium or enjoying it live at your house. We were supposed to start at 7:30, but Mother Nature wouldn't cooperate, but that's all right. We got an hour and 10 time delay, but we're going to play around 8:40 tonight. And, John, it's a big game for Elk Grove. They win tonight. They're back at 500 at 2.
Yeah, it's a good start. I hope the audience can hear me. We might have a little bit of audio issues with the rain. But, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. It should be competitive on both sides. See what happens.
Elk Grove, of course, in the green and yellow. The Blue Demons are in the white and blue. Maine East, it's been a struggle with their program, John. They have just not been known for football the last, 30-plus years. They haven't been to the playoffs since 1977, and they haven't won a game since 2017. Maine East known for basketball, but not so much for football.
Very much so on basketball. And you have schools that do that. You know, over the years, you just kind of run into that's your forte. Elk Grove football's had a little bit of struggle, but it was nice to see them get the first win this week, the first week one.
Yeah, that's the problem. You see on Maine East sideline, they got under 40 players coming into the season today. Elk Grove, of course, over 65, led by, of course, number 77. Maine East, they got a lineman, though. He's going to be a top 30 recruit coming out of the state of Illinois. But other than that, it's just been a struggle for Maine East. Besides their offensive line, they really don't have anybody that they can go to, especially at the skill position players. El Awadi is the 31st best player in the state, according to 247sports.com. His giant frame has drawn interest from nearly 10 NCAA Division I programs. But other than that, they just don't have a lot at the skill positions. In football, it's not just about how much talent you have, but it's also about depth. And when you got 38 players total on your varsity squad, that's definitely going to hurt you in a 9-game regular season.
It'll hurt you in a half, right? I mean, that's a lot of work for a couple kids to go both ways. Elk Grove's got a real young team this year, very, very young team. A couple leftovers, Brady Topsruth. He's got some D1, I believe, interest. Quarterback this year, I believe he's a sophomore. It's Mitch Jansen, got a strong arm, big kid, real big kid for Elk Grove. Elk Grove typically is a smaller program, and that's kind of where we get into the trouble.
Yeah, Pop Warner not as big in Elk Grove as the neighboring communities of Palatine, Barrington, and you know that's what hurts when you're trying to build a varsity program. Kids now start playing football as young as 8 years old, flag football, Pop Warner as early as 10, and it's not as big as Elk Grove. Travel baseball and soccer is bigger, and you kind of see that with football versus the other sports in EG. But here we go, Elk Grove High School against Maine East, a little squib kick action, and a role in the IHSA. I don't know about you, John, but I disagree with it. Anytime that a player goes to a knee and takes the ball, it's automatically blown dead. I hate the rule. How about yourself?
High school, I think it's about safety. I'm with you. It's not but after a few years ago, they had a lot of discussions, all that protocol stuff. I could see why they just called it.
Maine East in the red, white, and blue. More of the black helmets, actually, is with this 38-man depth chart. Let's see how they go. 27 taking the handoff out to Amari, and Amari's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Good way to start for the Grenadiers.
Absolutely. Good defense, good pursuit. 74 on Maine East. How do you every two guys out there? Looks like it's the right tackle. Or left tackle.
Maine East trying to win their first football game since 2017. Have not been to the playoffs since 77. Elk Grove, it's been a couple of years since they've been to the postseason as well. A win tonight would definitely help their case. Single back formation, quarterback rolls out to the right, and it's going to be a tackle. Didn't complete it. Flag on the play, might be against Maine East.
One of the things that Elk Grove has going for them, any high school player, they seem to have looks like he's going anywhere. He's a Mount Prospect grad, University of Illinois, 14 kids. Knows the program, knows the district. We're hoping to keep him as long as we can. He had to start from scratch, quite frankly.
Call on the field was ineligible, man downfield. Can't have it if you want to win tonight for Maine East. Any flag for that matter, but ineligible man downfield. Unless you're trying to run something crazy in the red zone, you know, with that right tackle going into motion as a tight end. Can't have those flags trying to start off a drive.
And it would be good for Elk Grove to stay out of it too. They have to improve on their 1 and 2 start, right? And it's got to be part of that. It's got to be discipline.
For Maine East, they're just going to want to control the clock. There's that young man who's being recruited by 10 different programs. Number 74, Yasser Alawadi. He's 6'8", 315 pounds. Dude probably also plays basketball for Maine East.
With the white jersey, he looks 20 pounds lighter. If he's in a dark jersey, he looks to be about 385.
He looks like the modern-day Michael Orr out there.
I'm telling you, big kid.
Another single back formation. And great tackle in the open field. If he doesn't tackle him, it's probably a 5+ yard gain. Instead, another behind the line of scrimmage tackle.
Well, 74, who you were talking about, he fired off the line of scrimmage and Gates linebacker. But the problem was Elk Grove's defense never let the guy out of the backfield.
Sure, but open field tackles are important. I love Eddie Jackson for the Bears, but he's been struggling with it lately, and if you can't tackle in the open field, it's going to hurt you in the secondary.
Especially at that level.
So do you like this formation, single back a lot for Maine East, or should they start going shotgun?
I don't know. Elk Grove kind of fell into a trap a couple years ago. I think it's all about personnel. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the quarterback has it.
That was 4th down, by the way, so we got a punt formation, and the Grenadiers getting the ball back. Janzak goes out there to lead the offense. Dominic Belmonte had 3 touchdowns in their only win of the season. Elk Grove at 1-2, Maine East at 0-3. And Maine East coming off a bad loss to Hersey, 63-0.
Kyle, I don't think you can hear me, but I'm having some audio, but you keep going.
Shotgun formation, single back. And it's brought down at the sideline as a good shotgun run that time. Draw play for the Grenadiers out to Belmonte. Janzak is 12, takes the snap to Belmonte again. Breaks through a tackle, gets out to the right. He's got room to run. One man to beat and finally brought down.
Nice jump yardage there. He had the patience.
Yeah, Belmonte is small, but he's got a lot of quickness for the position.
He looks side-to-side speed right there.
Belmonte's only 5'8", 155 pounds, soaking wet, but he can shift from left to right very quick-like, and it showed on that run. And the Grenadiers controlling the clock, not trying to rush it too much. They want to have a good, efficient drive, get that ball into the end zone. Shotgun formation, nobody in the backfield. Yeah, it's always tough at the high school level. There's no official play clock. The officials take care of it.
Right.
So it can get a,
Hand in the air, right?
can get a little confusing.
Same play, cut back to the right.
Yeah, Maine East has got to be better at getting off those blocks. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day for Maine East.
Another chunk yardage, 6-7 yards on a run. You'd take that all day.
And we have an injury timeout. Hate to see it, especially for Maine East. They just don't have a lot of depth on this team. Waiting on a number for the injury, and the knee has been bothering him. Elk Grove against Maine East. An injury timeout.
Kyle, thanks for your patience. We had a little bit of an audio problem.
Player carted off the field for Maine East, so we'll continue playing on the drive. Grenadiers 0, Maine East 0. The injured player is 72, not listed on my roster. At least according to 8 to 18. Shotgun formation for the Grenadiers. Split wide receivers, Belmonte in motion. And fakes the hands off. Janzak still in the pocket. He's got an open receiver. Touchdown, Grenadiers. That time it's Garrett Ewan. Good play call as everybody was cheating up, especially the linebacking core for Maine East. Janzak saw it, didn't panic, and he allowed the play to develop. Ewan with the reception and the touchdown.
You hit it on the head. He took his time, right? He had a little time. There was some pressure, but he looked left. Maybe took the linebacker off it, looked down the middle, and there it was.
Not the start that Maine East would want, and when you've lost so many games in a row, it starts to creep in your head a little bit. Oh, God, here we go again.
Elk Grove's got to be really pleased with this first drive.
Good snap, good hold. Really nice kick. A lot of hang time on it.
Yeah, that's good from another 15 yards and it's a field goal.
You know, in high school, there's no such thing as an easy extra point.
No.
So when you have a nice snap, nice hold, and a nice kick, you like to see that from the coaching staff.
One way you know that for sure is if you read the paper the next day and you look at the scores in the Herald or the Trib. It's always 27, 28, or 8, or 10.
19 to 15.
Right.
Do you like that we now have 33-yard extra points in the NFL, or you think it's kind of crazy to have missed extra points?
I'm old school. We have so much scoring with the old, now new Don Coryell. Everybody's throwing the ball 450 yards. Do we really need to make that extra point that
difficult?
Right, correct. I mean,
it makes it interesting, but it is kind of interesting when a game is lost because of a extra point was missed. Even the great ones like Greg Zerloin missed an extra point on Thursday Night Football against the Buccaneers. Kickoff coming up for the Grenadiers, another squib kick. It was touched by Maine East, and Grenadiers football. Grenadiers get the ball as a Maine East player accidentally touched it, and the Grenadiers will get it right back. Tough break for the Blue Demons. You don't really expect a squib kick this early on in the game, but they touched it accidentally, and an onside kick that wasn't then turned out to be one, and the Grenadiers have the ball right back with a chance to make it 14-0 before people have gotten to their seats.
all right, let's see. There we go. It's in and out. Hopefully you can hear me, Kyle. Can you hear me?
First and 10 coming up for the Grenadiers. As they'll go with 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun, nobody in the backfield. Janzak will run it up past the 45 to the 43.
Kyle, like you say, Maine East, you know, that's the last thing they need. But on the flip side, the two programs kind of meeting, it's phenomenal for the home team, Elk Grove. Just positive energy.
I think for Maine East, I got to find some way to get a turnover. I think I'm gonna do a little disguise blitz action, try to force Janzak into a tight window, have him panic a bit, see if he can read the coverage. Not the best snap in the world, but Janzak gets it off. Belmonte breaking a tackle, getting out to the right, and he's got room to run.
Nice tackle.
And another big run for Belmonte and a first down for the Grenadiers.
I'll tell you what, that's the same play that they had that chunk yardage on the last possession. All he does is just come out left, cut right to the middle, and there's nobody there. Looks like Elk Grove's offensive line is getting into that second tier. There's the infamous Joe Dixon on the sidelines. Joe's whipping the Elk Grove athletic department for Lord knows how long.
Belmonte.
Long time. Flag.
Tackled behind the line of scrimmage. A tackle for loss. Flag on the play. It's going to go against Elk Grove.
That is a drive killer and will drive a coach nuts. You're on your, 25, 27?
It must have been a blatant hold because usually the play's got to develop for 3 or so seconds before it's called. He must have just grabbed the jersey and pulled him right from the opening snap.
I think the referees just had the longest pass of the day from where he threw that flag.
Most of the times you see a holding call is a quarterback that rolls outside the pocket. The left tackle didn't think he was going to do that, so he's forced to pull the defensive end. That time was just a quick hold. Janczak in the pocket.
He's going to take it himself.
I think he was forced to because of the snap. I don't think that was by design. And he
He's
finds a way to get a first down and a touchdown.
Mitch Janczak runs one in.
If that snap was by design, it was an excellent snap. But very rarely in high school will you see the center snap it to the right on a shotgun. But Janczak rolls with the play, whether it was by design or not, and he scores.
Mitch is a true athlete. He's played baseball, he's played football at a high level at both, all throughout his grade school years. Just a natural athlete.
Extra point coming up. It's 13-0 Grenadiers, as Ewan is also the kicker on this team. And he scored 8 of the 14 points. It's 14-0 Elk Grove.
Good start for Elk Grove, clearly, but when you're Maine East, you just got to start scratching your head a little bit. We'll see if they can put together some sort of offensive drive, get their team into it.
Here's the Elk Grove dance team. A lot to cheer about tonight with their football team already up by 14 points.
Yeah, Elk Grove won their first game, lost their second game, and lost their third game. The third game was to Vernon Hills. They were at Vernon Hills. Vernon Hills was a good team, but I talked to a couple people over there, and they said, they were good. They had a couple great stars, but it was mostly just over physical for Elk Grove. Just a bigger team.
Yeah, Vernon Hills comes from one of the best conferences in the state, Central Suburban, with New Trier. Vernon Hills, of course. They play Libertyville out of conference. It's tough. And Vernon Hills, I'm not saying they're going to the state tournament quite yet, but they're already 3-0 and looking good. They defeated Elk Grove 41-6 last week.
Right. So, what do you think of the new alignments as far as conference play and playing schools more your size?
I like the 8 divisions for the playoffs, but I would like to see more non-conference games or more non-conference rivalries take place. I wish we could see Fenwick against OPRF every year, Viator against Hersey. Especially these inner city rivalries, public versus private school.
Right.
You just don't see it as much anymore. Obviously, for the club sports like hockey, Oak Park River Forest will take on Fenwick. Viator will play Hersey, which is a combination team, BGHW for Hersey. But yeah, you just don't see it for football as much. And I get it that you want to play teams that you'll see in the playoffs eventually for your class, but I'd like to see more rivalries, especially in the inner cities.
Yeah, Elk Grove, I think, has the opportunity to play the in-town rival, which is Conant on the outskirts of the west side of town. That has always been just competitive at any level, any sport between these two schools.
Yeah, and of course, Conant's and Hoffman Estates now, so the Conant-Hoffman Estates rivalry has tried to rival the Conant-Elk Grove rivalry.
Correct.
Hoffman Estates, of course, a very good school for fine arts and academics.
Scoreboard's kind of off today. It's got to be 2nd and 6 from what I can tell across the field here. Nice
a little misdirection, and they're just not getting much push up front.
I thought he
had that offensive line.
I thought he had a couple yards, but one of the linebackers came in and just made a nice tackle.
And look, yeah, Maine East hasn't won a game in since 2017, but any given Sunday, or in this case, any given Friday. So this is still a big win for Elk Grove. Yeah, you're facing a school that hasn't won in 4 years, but every win matters when you're trying to build up a program.
It typically takes 5 at some point to get into the playoffs, and this would be a nice 4th game for them. We'll see. We got a lot of time left, however. Brady Tostard was on that last tackle. He's just been one of a standout from his sophomore year here. I believe he's a senior this year.
The ball will come back to the 31-yard line, where it'll be 4th down, 5 yards still needed to the
4th and 5 for Maine East, and they're on the other side of the 50. You got to believe they're going to punt here down 14-0.
Yeah, they're going to have to start thinking no huddle, spread offense, shotgun all the time. I know they're only down 14, but the way their defense has looked, it almost seems like you give the ball back to Elk Grove, it's going to become 21-0.
And the thing, too, is I can't think of a chunk yardage play by Maine East. They might have less than 20 yards offense at this point. Yeah, illegal procedure on Maine East. It'll be 4th and 10 at this point, I think.
False start against the Blue Demons.
Got a Maine East timeout. They're going to try to get everybody on the same page here.
Yeah, I think for Elk Grove, I think what they're saying in the timeout is, look, we're clearly the better team, at least to start this game. Let's keep the foot on the gas pedal, and let's get this to 28-35-0 by halftime, and let's have some good confidence going into halftime so that if they do score, we know that the game is pretty much over. So already up 14-0. Nothing has really gone well for Maine East, as our excellent camera crew has us on camera right now. But they do a great job, led by Debbie Dennison at Elk Grove Television. We just have the fun job of talking about sports. But
yeah, they put up with us. We should be very thankful. The storms that we went through, and Elk Grove TV crew had us all ready to go at the start of this game.
Punt formation, good snap, gets it off. It's going to be a little bit short of his intended target. Fumbled away, picked up, and
still fumbled.
Still fumbled.
Maine East has got the
second
ball.
Time, and somehow the Grenadiers. Oh no, they lost it.
Yep, they lost the ball.
A late break on the football, and it was picked up by number 2, Timothy Cato, and the Blue Demons have it.
Yeah, 7 for Elk Grove. He had it, dropped it, and then when he went to pounce on it, the ball took a funny hop and went behind his knees, and there was just no chance of getting the ball back.
And just like that, the Blue Demons have life. Lucas Rogers on the fumble. Sometimes in a play like that, you just want to catch it in the air. You see that a lot in rugby, not as much as football, but when it's got that weird spin action, sometimes either catch it in the air or kind of catch it on your side, so if you fumble it, it's easier for you to pick it up because the ball's going away from you, behind you.
Little draw play here by Maine East. Nothing. Maybe a yard or two.
Yeah, they're going to have to maybe get the quarterback out to the right or left. The only problem with that is it limits the amount of space you can throw the ball, because obviously you don't want to throw across your body. So when you roll outside the pocket, you limit the amount of space you can throw. But they got to start throwing the ball because the defensive line for Elk Grove is dominating at the point of attack.
No, Kyle, just real quick, I want to go back to Elk Grove Television. I've done a few of these games, and I keep telling myself I'm going to thank everybody, and for some reason, it never happens. I lose my mind. So thanks to Ross Rowe, Debbie Dennison, Scott Meinhardt, Joe Santowski, and Vanessa Menzie. They do a really nice job all throughout the village, not just sports.
Great play call. Breaks through a tackle. It's a big boy, the quarterback. Not necessarily wearing a quarterback number, but
yeah.
He's wearing a tailback number, and he's playing both tailback and quarterback tonight.
74. He's now clearly straight across me in the field. First time I really got to look at him against everybody else. He's literally 8 to 9 inches taller than anybody else on that field, not just the team.
Elk Grove getting excited on the sideline. Their team up 14-0. Elk Grove. Probably another running play, only 2 wide receivers. 2 tight end look. They'll run it up to the left.
Got an opening. Hold.
Yeah, this is probably coming back, a late flag.
I got to give this referee crew credit. They got some arms. They're throwing these things 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, they want to make sure you knew that a flag happened. And that was just such an unnecessary flag because 8 already got a good push right off the handoff. Sometimes you just got to let your defender go.
He had the first down, which is what Maine East is looking to do, stack some first downs, right? He had the first down already, and he was trying to get an extra couple yards, and his teammate held.
You know, you hear that a lot. And what it means is sometimes you just have to trust in your tailback or your quarterback to make a play. And if they get hit, yeah, you don't want them to get hit, especially your quarterback, but they know the risk was playing the game, and sometimes it's better to just let them get hit and see what happens on the play than have it be 1st and 20 on a holding call.
Yeah, right. So it looks like we got about 3rd and 9 here.
You would think an obvious passing down, but they've run the ball about 75% of the night. Another running play, not going anywhere. Actually, he got through it somehow. 3 defenders were there.
You and I both were fooled on that. I thought he was down. I was waiting for the whistle, and next thing you know, he's going to go for it here on 4th and 4.
Yeah, you got to go for it.
Why
You're
not?
inside the 50.
Sure.
Haven't won a game in 4 years. Got to find a way to get a first and get closer to the end zone. Excuse me.
Timeout, Elk Grove. Oh, timeout, Maine East.
Yeah, they went with the hard count. Good idea. Elk Grove wasn't fooled. Got to be careful wasting timeouts like that. You only got 1 left. But I think Maine East knows this is the game. I know that sounds crazy how early on it is, but when you got a team that lost 63-0 last week, you know you get down 21-0 on the road. Elk Grove's not a powerhouse like Hersey, but you get down 21-0, that's really going to get into your psyche. So they got to find a way to get points. Even if the score becomes 14-3, as there's Debbie on camera. Got to find
Deb.
some way to get points.
Where's she at, the 30? The other 30.
There's Scott Mayernick.
Scott, great job. I finally thanked all you after I don't know how many broadcasts. I apologize.
Elk Grove, they don't always win state titles, but I think they've got one of the coolest mascots in all of IHSA.
No question. It's a long story about that I'll get to maybe when we have a timeout or something, but the gentleman Hall of Famer that you hear over the PA system is the one who named this school back in the 60s. Another flag. That might be on Elk Grove.
Ball out. Elk Grove's got it.
Ball's
Lost
out again.
And they'll get it back.
We got to see what this penalty is. It came from the side judge right at the snap, so I don't know if it's offsides or false start.
Might be a legal motion.
Could be.
A false start would help the Blue Demons because that's supposed to be an automatic dead ball, and they keep the ball.
Dead ball foul.
That's what.
But I did not hear a whistle when the flag was thrown, so I'm going to say.
He had a lot of time, so it might be a holding.
Well, they're discussing this quite a long time here.
Slow developing play on the play action.
Sure was.
Yeah, legal motion.
Yep.
Declined, and it's going to be Elk Grove football.
Well, you can't argue with Elk Grove's field position so far, right? I mean, literally they've been on the other side of their 30 the whole entire evening.
Only thing they got to work on is fumbles, as they've only almost lost 2 of them.
Right.
Just got to bear hug that ball, dive to the turf, and get it.
I'm looking at the nose tackle for Maine East who's lining up. He's literally half the size.
That might be 74 again. If it's not, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, the nose tackle, he's just got to be one tough kid. He's
that's
all of 5 foot
there he
tall.
is, Alawadi. He's also playing D tackle. They just don't have many players, so Alawadi's going to play both sides of the ball, and because he's so big, you don't really worry about him getting injured for college football next year. At 6'8".
I've been trying to watch his footwork, and so far, nothing's shown me that he doesn't have the next level footwork. And you know, once they get him in a D1 school, a lot of things will happen before he takes his first snap. Get a lot of reps. Janzik's going to throw this one.
Janzik.
Wide open over the middle.
Open man, threw it behind him, but good job readjusting by Brady Tosterud.
Yeah, Brady's a player. He's that kid that's been here for quite some time. You would think you'd hear those 2 names quite a bit tonight. Mitch to Brady. Brady is by far our biggest player in Elk Grove. No question. Great wrestler, too.
Not the best snap in the world. Janzak will take what he's been given and rolls to the right, gets the first down. And for Elk Grove right now, yeah, you'd love to make it 21-0, but know the score. You're up 2 scores. A field goal isn't the worst thing in the world, but since you're up 2 scores, you also don't have to force a field goal. So if you're at the 25-yard line, you don't have to kick for points. You can try to do a pooch punt and pin them deep.
Yeah, we got 1:46 left in the first 2. I mean, Elk Grove isn't going to sit on it, but a run play is not a bad idea.
Another quarterback keeper. Janzak's got some room to run and a first down for Janzak.
Run's not a bad idea when you're getting that far, that much of a chunk. That's like 18 yards probably.
As a coach, though, aren't you always worrying, oh, man, please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt. Slide, slide, slide. I always wonder what John Harbaugh's thinking every time Lamar Jackson's rolling out of the pocket.
Yeah, the owner, too, with the $150 million contract he just signed. I'll tell you what, though, these kids, you know, knock on wood, we're all worried about kids and their health, but these high schoolers, they're athletes and they're pliable. They're just, ooh, Mitch is going to want that one back. He had some pressure. Tostrud, he had a step on a defender, just let him out a little too far.
You know, quarterback has the reputation of being the toughest position, and it absolutely is. But if you've got that center that every snap is perfect, I mean, Peyton Manning would always credit Jeff Saturday.
Yep.
And you saw it there. I mean, I'm not going to call it the center too much on that play, but a bad snap. It's out of rhythm, which means the pass might be an inch to the right, and you saw it. It was over the head.
The whole play can get blown up on that.
Should have been a first down. Instead, you got to restart. Snap. And lack of communication between the QB and his wide receiver and Ewan.
Yeah, that just that came out of Mitch's hand pretty quickly. That was a miscommunication, I believe, on the play.
Third down coming up. As it
Looks to be third and long, right? Probably 9.5. Call it 10.
Yeah, I'm not used to them not updating the Jumbotron with down and distance, so I'm kind of guessing tonight.
I'm pretty sure this rain put a kibosh on a lot of stuff. We got just drenched here, folks. Probably started an hour before game time, and that's why we're starting late. But it was coming down sideways for a little bit. Another high snap.
High snap. Janzak rolls out to the right. He's got a man. Ewan catches it,
that's a first
and he
down.
gets the first down.
But I like what Mitch did there was, Brady's on the left side. Mitch is rolling right. He did not try to throw it back against the grain of the field. He waited for Ewan to get onto the sideline and tease on. Much easier throw. Very little chance of being picked off.
And you would think for Maine East, knowing that he's rolling to the right, he's probably going to throw to that side. So maybe cheat up your linebackers and safeties to force him to throw across his body to the left.
Yeah. I haven't seen Maine East, nor Elk Grove for that matter, send anybody but their front four all game.
Elk Grove's going to split the wide receivers, one in the slot. And Eisner's going to roll out.
Misdirection.
Good running play,
nice
close
play.
to the first down.
Great play call by Elk Grove Village. Everything's going right. Mitchie fakes out to the right side, hands it to the running back who cuts back left, and he gets first down.
Eisner on the tackle, on the handoff.
Running back was Jacob Eisner.
Tosterud. He's not quite 74 in Alawati, but Tosterud at 6'4" is also a big guy. And that does it for the, timeout called. A late timeout called by the Grenadiers. So I want to hear the story about why they're called the Grenadiers.
So I'll make it quick. Hall of Fame softball coach just above our left here, Ken Grams, has been with the school since the day it opened. And at the time, they were trying to name schools after animals. And when Elk Grove opened up, Ken was on the committee that was naming schools. And they couldn't come up with anything with a G that made any sense at all. So he spit it out, how about a Grenadier? And they all started laughing. And about 10 minutes later, they're like, that's about the only thing that makes total sense. So Elk Grove Grenadiers becomes the school name. Now, a few years back, Twitter had one of the local companies had a Twitter contest. And it was who had the best nickname in Illinois high school sports. And it went on for months. and Elk Grove Grenadiers.
They won?
They won it. They won it.
It is pretty cool.
Very unique. Very unique.
As much as I love the Bears and the Lions and the Wildcats, you know, the
Right.
Grenadiers, the one and only at Elk Grove High School.
I mean, how many Knights do you have? How many Mustangs
Yeah.
do you have, you know? I'd love to see if there's another Grenadier team out there.
Roll out to the right. Eisner's got room to run close to the goal
Jacob
line.
Elsner. I mispronounced his name earlier. That's Dale Elsner's son, Jacob. He's tacking some yards.
And they play NCAA rules tonight, so every first down, the clock stops.
I'm not going to lie, Kyle. There's a couple high school rules that I just cannot figure out, and I've seen quite a few football games. You don't get the explanation because you don't have the microphone on the field and whatnot. It's something I've tried to look up, but sometimes it's where the flag hits, and you might not get a first down on it. There's some strange rules in high school
Well,
football.
in the NCAA, the rule is you can't start the clock until the umpire does the
Rolls it,
signal.
right?
Yeah. Now, in high school, that gets tricky because you don't have as many officials.
Right.
So some of these officials are doing kind of multiple duties,
Multitask.
as you would see as in a Division 1A game. But yeah, that's basically the rule when you're playing NCAA rules with starting and stopping the clock.
Yeah, so to go back to the scheduling now for high school football, clearly I kind of favor Elk Grove, right? However, over the years, we had to play in District 214, Mount Prospect, Palatine, Friend, Barrington. Some of these schools were twice our size, although we still fit in that class of a division. That's hard to get some sports programs rolling when you're going against some of those big schools. So I am fully in favor of what they've done, where you're playing in a Vernon Hills, you're playing in Maine East, which they've played before. You still have a bit of a conference schedule. You got Conant, which is still a bigger school, but that's an in-town rivalry. You can't get rid of that, no matter what the size is, right? I really think this is going to work for high school football. I know it was a close vote back when they voted it.
8 classes when it comes to the playoffs. Eisner's untouched. Touchdown, Grenadiers.
Late flag.
Late flag, though.
I'm going to say, just by Maine East's reaction, that's an unsportsmanlike conduct, but we'll see. It was very late. Couldn't have been a holding unless he really struggled to get his.
Looks like a personal foul against
Elk Grove.
Elk Grove. Oh, at first I thought he chopped the hand, but he did hold it as a holding. God, that's got to be the quickest hold I've ever seen in my life.
I'm looking at the Elk Grove stat because that flag came out after they were celebrating the touchdown, and it was thrown at the line of scrimmage. He must have struggled to get it out of his pocket. That's the only thing I can think of.
It's just so hard to do a hold that quick. But hey, if you tug at the jersey and move it, hold's a hold. Well, now the kick is happening, so it's got to be personal foul, not a hold.
Yeah.
The hold would bring the ball back.
Yeah,
so
the touchdown counted, so the referee gave us a little misdirection here, but we'll keep
it's a
with
personal foul. They're going to address it on the kickoff.
Right. Good kick by Elk Grove. Who's that? That's Ewan, right?
Yep, that's the wide receiver in Ewan. It's 21-0 Grenadiers here on EGTV 6. We apologize for any possible audio difficulties to start the game, but 21-0 in favor of Elk Grove. You need at least 5 wins out of 9 games to make the playoffs. You want preferably 6 because of tiebreakers. But this is a big win, assuming Elk Grove can hang on. Nothing is a certainty in high school football, of course, but it's a big game, and I get it.
Just want to mention something for Elk Grove. They have their Oktoberfest running this weekend. It started tonight, and I think it goes through Sunday. Don't let the weather tonight hold you back, but tomorrow's supposed to be a wonderful day. If you can make it over to Lions Park. If you've been to Oktoberfest from Elk Grove before, it's an absolute wonderful event, one of my favorites, and I don't particularly drink a lot of beers. A lot of great food, a lot of good company. So.
By the way, Schaumburg just barely beat Elk Grove 27-20, so this is a Grenadiers team that could easily be 2-1 instead of 1-2.
And I guess in Schaumburg game, and I wasn't at it, but they could move the ball pretty well. They just could not finish. That was the problem. And it's something the coaching staff talked about. This is what we need to work on.
The Schaumburg Saxons, that's another cool IHSA mascot.
Agreed.
Kickoff, a lot of hang time on it. It's going to be picked up at the 30-yard line by the Blue Demons. as Cato will run with it. Another flag. Man, we've seen almost as many flags as points scored by the Grenadiers.
I'm not going to kid you. That was another one. That was a 15-yard throw. It's got to be below the belt.
Yep. Shot
below
block
the knees.
against the Blue
Maine
Demons.
East. It's the unfortunate, right? I understand you're a little upset. 21, you give up a score, kickoff, you know, but that's just something you cannot do. You can't put your team that far back before you've even snapped the ball.
It's dangerous too, especially in a game like this where the game could get out of hand and Elk Grove could win by 42 plus points. Then as Elk Grove, when they see that you're getting chop blocked against, then you could possibly do a cheap shot on the other side of the ball. So not only is it a bad penalty against Maine East, but you could see retaliation from the Elk Grove if it was a blatant hit at the knees on the kick return.
Yeah.
27 taking the snaps. We don't have his name on the roster. Little screen pass out to the right. And he's going to be brought down after a gain about 5.
I might be mistaken, but that might be the first drop back for Maine East. I can't think of anything prior to that. If they did pass the ball, it was only once or twice at best.
Yeah, they haven't done any screen passes all night. That was the first one of the game.
Yeah, for sure. You can tell Elk Grove's defense is starting to creep up a little bit, which you know as well as I do. You can have a big strike if you get used to short little dink passes. All you need is somebody to cut left and cut up, little post pattern.
Little run to the right, as good job by 30 on the carry.
Grenadier defense, there's 4 guys on the ball after 2 yards of running. That's what the coaches want to see. Any coach would love to see that.
Grenadier tackler on that last play was Javier Lopez.
It's just been tough for Bob Winkle. In his 4th season, coming in 0-24 all time with Maine East, now 0-27. But he says that he sees some building blocks with this core. And he was so happy to play football last year, even though they lost all 6 games. Just to have some games to play and to learn new things and to get that game action under their belt, as that's a tackle behind the line of scrimmage by the Grenadiers. No fumble, as he was clearly down.
Listen, that pandemic hurt us all in one way or the other. I don't care if you're 90, if you're 9. But one of the big things that bothered me throughout that year was both high school and college sports. A couple people lost their senior years, you know, and it doesn't even have to be sports. A lot of kids lost senior prom, graduation. I'm just so thankful that IHSA, state of Illinois, we've all figured this out. We got to get these kids back doing something other than sitting at home.
The vaccine helped. So glad to see that we got fans in the stands this year. It was very strange. Spring football with no fans in the stands.
Yeah, it was horrible. Just horrible.
It's 21-0 Elk Grove. That's not a misprint, as they have dominated this game from the opening kickoff. And a lack of communication on defense. There was almost an open man in the slot for a good 5 yards.
If he had speed, he could have been gone.
Handoff.
Again,
oh, what a tackle!
I'm going to say that's Brady. We'll see what the number is.
Great tackle that time by Michael Rivera. Not only that, but Alawadi drilled him to the turf, and he still made the tackle from his fingertips.
We've heard Rivera's name more than a couple times this quarter. Playing tough. He was in the backfield before the running back got the ball.
That was a great pancake, though, by Alawadi to drill Rivera and get him out of the play, but Rivera just with some next-level football IQ there on the tackle. Shotgun formation,
pass
good snap.
Long, deep.
Little fly route.
What a play.
And broken up by the Grenadiers. That time it's Ewan. No, yeah, it was Ewan, so he's playing 3 positions tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, Maine East was open. The pass was there, maybe a half a step ahead of him. But Ewan he had the right angle, right? Didn't try to do too much, no interference, and he broke up the pass. We're very close to calling that an interception back the other way. It was in his arms.
I like the play call, though, by
I do
Maine
too.
East. You got to get something down the field. You got to find a way to get deep in Elk Grove territory. Easiest way to do that is fly routes. Trips to the left, one in the slot. Another clean pocket. Got to catch the football.
Yeah, same play. Maine East had a little more room to catch it. It was out in front of them a little bit, but that's a catchable ball.
On the drop is Idarius Walton, who also plays basketball for the Blue Demons.
Elk Grove's coming with four defensive linemen, but they're really spread out. It's kind of a little different look, really. We're going to get a punt here with, what, 4th and, well, anybody knows, 25, 30.
If you wanted to do a fake punt, this would be the time to do it, but
maybe not at this close to their end zone. You might not have a choice.
Now you can't do it from the bad snap. Good punt, though.
Very good.
On the return, making up for the fumble. Good job on the return by Rogers.
Lucas Rogers is a sophomore. I had the pleasure of watching him play basketball. My son coached a team. He is going to be a star athlete if he trends the way he is. Great basketball player, great baseball player, and now I'm seeing him for the first time play football as varsity. Good athlete.
Rogers, of course, fumbled earlier in the game, made up for it with a good return there, over 10 yards.
Coach Osei is he knows he's young, but he's excited about what he's got.
This game is not over yet, especially if the Blue Demons get a turnover. 28-0 would be a tough comeback for Maine East. So much running room for Belmonte tonight.
Well, it's like Maine East just kept trying to stretch it out, but every 2 steps was another yard and a half. And maybe close a little bit. I don't know. I mean, Elk Grove blockers engaged, but a couple guys could have gone head right to the ball.
It might be time to do some consistent blitzing by Maine East, as they're just not getting the penetration they want at the line of scrimmage.
No, I agree 100%. I'm telling you, their nose tackle's about 5'2". And he's in there big time with some bigger players, and he's fighting through it.
Belmonte taking his time doing that Le'Veon Bell style. Great vision, waiting for the hole to develop and getting the first down.
One of the names I'm trying to find is number 12 on Maine East. He's their nose tackle. He's the little guy I'm talking about. I'm watching him play over play, and he doesn't give up. He's given up at least 150 pounds, and he will not give up. He was in the backfield the last play. Oh, he was
play
held
to the right.
too.
Belmonte's got so much room to run that time. Good open field tackle by Anch Ray.
Elk Grove got away with a hold. Nose tackle got past him with his speed. The Elk Grove guy grabbed his jersey. They got away with that.
Now, for football fans that are wondering the difference between a clean block and a hold, it's not necessarily that you're holding the defender, but you're holding him away from making a tackle.
Right. He had his right hip jersey as he was going by him.
You can't do that, but what you can do is you can push him back.
Yeah, you keep your hands within the shoulder pads, you're good. Misdirection play again. That worked last time. Oh, nice tackle.
Good tackle.
But now
another good tackle. It was either by Ray or 15.
It was 15. He's very close to a flag there. Had a great tackle, but then decided to stand over him like the NFL and taunt him.
Yeah, the NFL, they might call at this age level. I think they're going to let him play.
Yeah.
Especially in a 21-0 game where nothing has really gone well for Maine East tonight.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Might be 4-down territory for the Grenadiers, as you really want to make it hurt with a touchdown.
Yeah, just under 7 minutes left in the quarter. You'd hate to not get points out of this drive.
Chip shot field goal, of course.
Wide open.
Right at the B gap, and a touchdown for the Grenadiers. Touchdown, Jacob Eisner.
Jacob Elsner is the last in the line of many Elsners that have played football here. He's got some yardage now, right? I mean, he's got, I think that's second touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And he's running them in from 8 to 10, 12 yards out. That was probably a 5-yard touchdown run. Gonna go for the extra point. This kicker impresses me, is Ewan. He's an all-around player. He's kicking it into a little breeze. We'll see how it gets. Not much of a breeze, but there's a little one out there. That ball's
Not
good.
his best kick, but he keeps it within the uprights, and it's good for the Grenadiers.
Shout out goes to the old kicker a couple years ago, Antonio Sandoval. He's one of the nicest kids you ever want to meet. He's going to Lewis University. I always like to mention the kickers' names because they rarely get named in high school football that much because they don't play as much. They're not making the 45-yarders. Fourth down territory goes a long way in high school.
You don't know who the kicker is until it's the playoffs, and you're down by 2, and you haven't done much offensively, and he's got to find a way to get you to the next round of the playoffs.
That's right.
I think what's sad about it is if Scott Norwood had made that kick for the Bills, I don't think as many Bills fans would know his name and respect him. But because he missed it by a quarter of an inch, every Bills fan knows Scott Norwood's name for the wrong reason.
And who was the kicker? Was that Norwood? He missed four in a row, right? 4 years in a row in the Super Bowl. Wide left, wide left, wide right.
He was there 3 years, and they had Doug Christie.
That's what it was.
That 1 year.
Yeah.
But
I think by now he's probably still not paying for a meal. You know, Buffalo Bill fans are rabid about their team, but it's a friendly town if you've ever been there. It's about the size of a postage stamp.
Another squib kick past the 35. Blue Demons pick it up. Wearing Urlacher's number, and the linebacker 54 takes it.
All right, 6:34. Going into half, you're down 28. I'm with you now. You got to start opening up something different. And it doesn't work, that's fine. But at least you can try something different. Maybe over the week, take a look at it on tape. They got to find something other than running back left, running back right.
And you've got the guy to protect your quarterback. You got your Division I prospect at left tackle.
Sure do.
They've had time to pass the ball. They just aren't completing the football. Time is not the issue, and rhythm's not the issue. Another clean pocket. I mean, Elk Grove has not gotten much on the defensive line when it comes to pass defense.
Elk Grove's overloading the left side on their 4 defenders, their 4 linemen. So 74 is just helping pretty much. It's almost like a small double team on the right end for Elk Grove. So they're clearly the defense is running away from 74, which I would too. I'd like to watch him here. He's on our side of the field. I'd like to see him on a couple runs to see how he fires off the ball.
$28-0, another 6 ago. Almost a false start against Maine East.
You got away with that one. 74 just pancaked our guy, 44. He's given at least 150 pounds. Lays on him, whistle blows, helps him up, pats him on the head. If that's not the Michael Wolf story that you talked about earlier, I don't know what is. A mutual respect for size, right? Third and a bunch, probably 7. Back to
Clean
pass.
pocket for 27, bad throw, and just got it off.
44 with a nice read there.
Right there to cover was Javier Lopez.
Yeah, we're calling his name a lot. You know what? Quarterback gave kind of a mediocre pump fake, and Lopez knew not to bite. Coming into the game for Elk Grove is Ugawa, 54. .513 left in the half.
Unless you get sacked here, it's definitely 4th down territory.
Yeah, it's 4th down right now. I think 4th and 5.5, call it. That's high school though, right? You get near the 50, you just got to make something happen.
Bad vision on that play.
Yep. He comes to us, could be a whole different story.
When it's that slow developing, you just got to hit the original hole and hope your blockers are there.
Yeah, still there, right?
When he took too much time to roll out to the right, it allowed the cornerbacks to get there on pursuit and take him down.
Yeah, now you got 11 guys at the line of scrimmage instead of just 4. You know, the linebackers are already there half a step. Now the cornerbacks, safety's coming in. Just stretch it out. Elk Grove stretch it out.
Yeah, that's just a hard play to run I formation on 4th and 4, unless you got a powerhouse back like Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah.
Or if you've ever seen what's his name, the running back for the Titans, his high school numbers are out of this world.
Derrick Henry, I think he was averaging over 4,000 yards a year.
Out to the left.
Oh, he's still going. Extra effort gets him another 3-4 yards.
It's kind of amazing how it took Derrick Henry a couple of years to figure it out because he's such a monster.
He's so fun to watch. I'm a huge Titans fan, and too long of a story for this broadcast, but I've watched him over the years, and he could go 30 carries with 65 yards, and by the end of the game, he'll rip off a 85 or a 75 or 100. I've seen it. You can never sleep on him.
Honestly, he would have gotten my vote for MVP because you would have to stack the box every play because he's so big you can't bring him down with one tackler.
Yeah, if you ever YouTube his high school videos, amazing, just amazing. Just a man amongst boys.
Titans lost badly last week, but I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm interested in this Bear game on Sunday.
Well, the Bears, I'm not so sure about the Bears.
I want to see what they do against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not the same Cincinnati we knew before.
Goes out to the right, bad throw, didn't get a good grip on it.
Yeah, it was either grip or elbow or a little bit of both. Just kind of came out like a wounded duck. I don't care what level you're in. That throw has to be, basically you're throwing a fastball to the catcher. You got to set your feet, turn your body, and follow through. It's too long of a throw to have any air under it.
And a lot of football practices nowadays, especially in elements like this where it rains, they'll just have the quarterback take 50 snaps in shotgun from the center to have them used to different ways of gripping the football.
Yeah.
Because you're not always going to get that clean spiral, especially when it rains like this tonight.
Lucas Rogers down here by us, one-on-one.
Clean pocket again for Janzak.
That there, the coaches will show him, that's just his hips. If he stops rolling out, sets, turns his hips, that throws on target. His hips were going 45 away from the receiver, and it's just so easy to throw across your body that way. It's unfortunate. But Mitchell learned. He's young.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit, but sometimes it's better to get hit because you have the feet set and you would have gotten it off.
Yep.
Instead of rolling out that extra step to the left, you weren't able to set the feet.
Yep.
Another clean pocket for Janzak. Both quarterbacks have had clean pockets tonight.
So that's 3 in a row. He's definitely, like, I think to your point, you've got it on the head. He's having a grip problem. 3 passes in a row, all came up short.
Now, at the high school level, can you ask for a different ball as a quarterback?
I don't know.
In college and the NFL, you can.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to ask a coach that next time I see one of them. Yeah, because Mitch is throwing some nice passes tonight, and those 3 just came out poorly.
How do you defend a guy that's 6'8", 315 pounds playing left tackle?
Unfortunately, somebody's got to engage, right? You don't want to get that practice film and say, I'm the guy that's got to engage. Good defense by Elk Grove.
The problem is they don't have much at right tackle, and Elk Grove's going right through him.
Yeah. That's a big loss, Kyle. It's going to be second and, well, maybe not. Maybe second and 14.
If you're wondering why Maine East is not going with a hurry-up offense, it's because they just don't want to give Elk Grove too much time to get the ball back. You obviously want to score to not be shut out at halftime, but you just can't allow Elk Grove to get the ball back with too much time to be down 35-0 offside against the Grenadiers.
I think you made a great point before the game started. If you look over at Maine East's bench, I can't find a white jersey, which means most of these kids are playing both ways. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. So maybe to your point, the hurry-up offense just might not be physically capable at the end of the half, Unless coaches are hiding them, I can only put my eyes on maybe 5 kids on that sideline.
So it's third down. Ball at the 32. They need to get to the 30. So that's 8 yards remaining for the first down.
3rd and 8, 2:25 left in the first half.
First down markers at the 40. Flyer out. And an interception for the Grenadiers.
Just an unbelievable interception by you. See, having a game. He out-jumped a kid that's 6 inches taller than him. Maine East player, a little shooken up, looks like maybe an ankle.
And now for Elk Grove up 28. Yeah, you want to score more points, but you don't have to force the ball. If it's not there, either take the sack, run out of bounds, or throw it out of bounds.
Well, we're going to see what Miles Osei's theory on this is. We'll see. He's got 2:11. I don't know that he might have maybe one timeout left, but, you know, you're on the 38-yard line.
And what's good about high school is it stops on a first down, so you can run the ball if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll see right here. He's going to throw it.
More than enough time to throw.
He's got a first down.
Elk Grove will get the ball back in the second half.
.205, that was a 6-second play with a first down.
You're going to see Maine East bring the house soon. That time they bring 2 extra linebackers.
Same play, right under, over the linebacker, underneath the corner. Timing play, good pass by Mitch.
So far, we've seen Garrett Ewan be their best player tonight. He has played 3 different positions, especially wide receiver.
He's made a play at all 3 of his positions, quite frankly.
Yep, especially at place kicking.
That's hard to say.
Janzak.
Brady. I believe that's Brady Tosterud.
Yep. Brady Tosterud. That's what makes football so great, is it's about running routes, not necessarily about size. Tosterud's their tallest guy, but right now Ewan's been their best guy running routes tonight.
I don't know how that wasn't called offsides. Mitch is in trouble here. Just go down.
Yep.
If Miles has a timeout, he probably should take it here.
That's excellent quarterback play. Knew the play was broken down. If you throw it up for grabs, it might be a pick six. You lose the ball on an interception regardless. Yep. It's okay to take the sack there because you're up by 28. Even in the NFL, you'll sometimes see quarterbacks panic when they have the lead before halftime and throw a ball up in the air and an interception. It gives the other team the momentum.
Yeah, in Elk Grove, you know, you're feeling really good about the offense. You're feeling great about the defense, the kicking game. You do not, at the end of the half, want to give Maine East any sort of inclination that they can get back in this thing. We've seen it at Elk Grove before. You're up most of the game, and in that fourth quarter, it's a couple penalties, a couple mistakes, maybe a blocked punt. Next thing you know, you're losing. Good turnout by the kids today. I thought maybe the rain would scare them away, but I guess I'm old enough not to know that 18-year-olds aren't going to go home over a little rain, right?
It's been an excellent night for football. It's just been a great fall, really. Well, we're technically still in summer, but
couple days.
It's been a great late summer. We'll see how October goes. But the weather's just been phenomenal in late August and mid-September in the Chicagoland area.
Sure has.
2nd and 16 for the Grenadiers. Another clean pocket. Rolling out to the right,
open.
Janzak.
He might be over the line. Oh, what a pass by Ewan again.
Caught! Touchdown, Ewan! Wow, Ewan on top of everything today. Doing everything for the Grenadiers, especially scoring touchdowns.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. The kid's just all over the place. Brady Tossard was open, heading towards the corner. I don't think Mitch saw him. I don't think he had to. He knew Ewan was going to break open.
And you're right, it was close to him going across the line of scrimmage on that throw.
It looked like it from here, but, you know, we don't have the best of angles.
And, of course, Maine East, it's coming back.
Yeah, I did not see a flag on the field. This is kind of surprising.
If it's anything, he threw it across the line of scrimmage, illegal forward pass.
That was a little of my concern. Yep, you called it, Kyle.
Oh, sideline interference. Usually it's just a warning, but I guess if you get in the way of the cornerback, you got to bring the ball back.
I guess now it's 3rd and 20, minute 06.
Big break for Maine East.
Maybe some field goal range.
Janzak looking
Wide
to the
open.
left.
Oh.
Catch the ball. That time it was dropped by Luke Crimmins.
Luke Crimmins is going to think about that tonight. Crimmins, another one with a lot of brothers that have gone through the program.
I think Luke saw some open space. I know he's a speedster. I think he just didn't watch it in. So
I don't know why they would go for it.
if they run the ball, I can understand that. If they pass, I'm with you. I don't know why you just don't pin them down.
But if you're having trouble on snaps on the punts, and you see that at high school sometimes with bad snaps.
It's in trouble again. Escapes it. He's got some room over this way.
Janczak out to
Got
the
a
right.
good block.
Gonna run with it. He still hasn't been tackled yet. Getting close to the first down.
He is close
Still
to the
hasn't been
first
brought down.
That's going to be really close.
And it's a first down for Janczak.
What an athletic run by Mitchell.
And that might be the dagger.
Yeah.
For Maine East. You got to tackle him in the open field, and they couldn't do it.
The play works. It's either Lucas Rogers or Ewan. The play works because somebody kept blocking in front of them the whole play. They didn't give up on the weak side where the ball wasn't, and Mitchell actually came back their way.
Out to the right, caught again by Ewan.
Wow, he's showing some athletic ability. He'll be talked about next week, whoever they play.
Gonna be Hersey.
Yeah, he'll be talked about in the Hersey room. Well, 34.9, it's second down. I don't even think downs matter at this point, right? If you score on this one, great. If not, and I'm thinking he...
Yeah, because you could always spike the ball if you
Sure.
want to stop the clock to kick the field goal.
Yeah, we haven't seen that the kid can't make it from there. I mean, his extra points are for 30, 35 through the goalposts.
Yeah, Maine East, though, I get it. It's not a program known for football, but you got to make that tackle in open field against Janczak.
Yeah.
And those are the things that are frustrating the coaching staff. Not necessarily wins and losses, because, like we said coming into the broadcast, this is a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in a long time. But
Yeah.
the little things, like you got to make the tackle in the open field. You can't let the quarterback have 3 juke moves and get the first down on 4th and 20. It's just inexcusable.
So Elk Grove's, this almost looks like a run play, but I can't imagine you would. We've had so much success.
So if they get the first, they'll just
Wide open.
spike it. But Eisner doesn't want the first. He wants the touchdown, and he
Jacob
gets it.
Elsner. That's 2 tonight for him at least. 26.9 seconds. Elk Grove up. It's not 35. It's got to be more than that, right? Yeah, Elk Grove 34-0, and I can tell you for one thing, Elk Grove hasn't been in this position at halftime in a long, long time.
Snap good, not the best kick, but got enough spin action for the extra point. That makes it 35-0 Grenadiers.
Well, Elk Grove's going to do a squib quick for sure at 26.9 seconds left. Maine East has just got to gum, and they got to say, coaching staff's got to say, all right, this is what we're going to work on. We're going to work on these concepts. 1, 2, maybe 3 of them, and just build. You just got to keep building and keep pushing that mountain. Eventually they're going to get their win, but they are outmanned tonight.
They just don't have enough players.
No, I agree. That's hard on the coaching staff too, and I'm sure they work the student body over, trying to recruit kids to play. But if you don't have a large feeder football program, whether it's Pop Warner or whatever you want to call it, it's really hard to get a state qualified team that can make a move in just 4 short years. You got to have a pipeline.
And the other issue is too, some kids just might not want to play football when you just don't win any games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You could have the best recruiter in the world, best coach, but when they see that you haven't won a game since 2017, it's hard to get those kids to want to bash their brains in for a sport when basketball is what they're also good at.
Nice play by 2.
Cato brought down inside of the 20. Great job on the pursuit by the Grenadiers.
Sure was.
Yeah, you might be right, John, to take a knee here. But you know what? I mean, if you throw a pick 6, yeah, you're down 42-0, but you got to find a way to put some points on the board. And
I think if he had a minute 22, we might see something, but I really, truly believe we're going to take an ear. I'd be shocked if he runs a pass play. Quite frankly, I'll be shocked if he runs a play.
Because the clock does stop on a first down, and yeah, they look like they're going with the knee formation.
Yeah. Just kind of regroup. Find your win within the win, right? Or find your win within the game. Might not be the game, but you got to, as a coach, you got to find something to win, build on, look at some film. But a great start for Elk Grove. This is one of the,
Well, I know
all round. A lot of players we're naming, not just one or two.
Well, I know Houston football fans don't want to hear it, but the Oilers were up 35-3.
Did you really go there? That was the worst day of my entire lifetime.
Are you from Houston?
No, my great uncle was, and I got a bunch of stuff. But anyway, we'll tell that in the second half.
So we'll take a break, and 10 to 15 minutes from now, we'll be back. It's 35-0 Grenadiers here on Elk Grove Television, Channel 6. Halftime about over. It's 35-0 in favor of the Elk Grove Grenadiers. Kyle Smith again alongside John Walls for the Elk Grove Television Game of the Week. A lot of yards, John, to a little from Maine East. And, well, for Maine East, can't think about the first half. You just got to find a way to score 5 touchdowns and not give up any more on defense.
Yeah, you got to find something to call a win, whether that's 2 first downs, 4 first downs, 50 yards of offense in the first drive. Whatever it is, you got to find something to win to keep the kids upbeat. I'll tell you what, the second half, though, there's a bit of a breeze that's picked up what I'll call out of the north.
And that kick return by Daniel Gaskill. We haven't said his name a lot tonight.
Yeah, Danny Gaskill, he's a legacy, too. Joey Gaskill was quarterback last year. Great 3-star athlete.
We're probably going to see the backup quarterback a lot this half for Elk Grove as they get ready for their game next week against Hersey. Janzak will take the snaps to start off the third quarter, but we're probably going to be saying some names we didn't say so much in the first half.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that they'll take Mitchell out, though. Being a first-year starter, I believe he's a sophomore. I got to verify that. I've known the kid forever, and I don't know what grade he's in.
Only other quarterback
he's a junior, yeah.
Only other quarterback on the depth chart is the other junior, Owen Davenport.
But I gotta believe they're going to try to get Mitchell some game snaps. I mean, you're 2-2 now, right?
2-2, probably should be 3-1 if they win
Absolutely.
tonight. Only lost by 7 to Schaumburg.
So if the coaching staff says, hey, you know what? you know, in their closed-door meetings, they say, listen, we might be onto something here to 5-6 wins. Got a tough schedule ahead, but 2-2 is better than not. Wide
Shotgun
open.
and
Lucas Rogers, wide open.
stiff arm and a beauty, still in
Wow,
bounds
stay in
and
bounds
stepped
there.
out.
Oh, boy. That looked pretty good.
Stepped out past the 40.
Athletic move by Lucas. Lucas is definitely a sophomore.
And you look at that Maine East sideline, they have got less than 20 guys.
Easily, right?
They just got nobody to play tonight. And yeah, Maine East is going to be tired because they've got guys playing on both sides of the ball, but you got to find a way to get low on that tackle. That was a good stiff arm, but you're not going to tackle him arm tackle. You got to get low on the tackle. Got to get low and drive him to the ground. Janzak, shotgun formation. Belmonte will take it on the handoff, and he'll roll to the right. And finally brought down near the first down marker.
Who was the Pittsburgh running back a few years back, where they always commented on how he would just delay.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. Belmonte's got, I mean, clearly a different type of player, but he's got that patience. He's done this 4 or 5 times on, you know, maybe 10 carries.
When you have the personnel, it is great to have a back like that. Now, when you have the Bears offensive line, you don't have the time to have that kind of vision.
You have half the time.
But yeah, when they had Villanueva and all those other bodies on the offensive line, it definitely made things easier for Le'Veon Bell.
Belmonte again, and he gets to the corner quickly.
Now, finally, Maine East making the adjustment. Get low on the tackle. When you get low and you put both hands around the knees, there's no way the running back's going to get past you.
No, it's a physical impossibility. Elk Grove with a good run for first down there, though. Belmonte off. 11 on.
So they're going to go with Jacob Eisner, who scored a couple of times tonight.
Yep.
This might be Janzak's last snap of the night, well, last series of the night, but we'll see.
Elsner's had a good game. Belmonte's had a good game. Ewan's had a good game. Mitch has had a good game. And we're just talking about offense.
So it is Elsner. I thought I saw a dot. It is
yeah,
Elsner,
no. We're on the shadow side of the lighting here.
My bad. So Jacob Elsner.
Right.
Tosterud will take the handoff, and he's got room to run. One man to beat. He's gone. Touchdown. Rushing touchdown for Tosterud. It's 41-0 Elk Grove, and the route is on.
Yeah, it's early in the second half. Brady with just some separation speed there. Not that I don't think he's a great athlete. I just didn't know he was that quick. Brady, a phenomenal wrestler. Elk Grove has a pretty decent wrestling program. They've had a couple, 3-4 good years. It all started with, actually the wrestling program had a big lift from Brady's father when he took it over 6-7 years ago.
We will have the running clock, but that's not till the fourth quarter. So we'll have a running clock up by 40 or more. But third quarter, we play normal rules.
Yeah, unfortunately, for me, high school sports is about participation. And then if you have a team that can make it to the other level, that's a whole different story. You coach differently. I look at some of the teams like Maine East and maybe Elk Grove a few years back. You kind of feel sorry. It's like, it's still a team sport. You're building young kids, teamwork, teammates, whatever. It's hard to watch this, but if you're Elk Grove and you're a fan of Elk Grove, you haven't seen one of these in 15 years.
Yeah, they haven't been a dominant team since 2004 when they went 11-2, lost to Rolling Meadows in the quarterfinals.
It was a great team. Elk Grove's best team, and I'm going to get the year wrong, but I'll be within two, I think it was 1971. They had a running back, Jack Walsh, who just crushed it. They didn't have IHSA playoffs at the time. And Elk Grove was known around IHSA circles as they were basically the number one team in the state, but they just didn't have that type of playoff system. Elk Grove quietly has in their gym state championship plaque, and it's kind of self-professed, but Elk Grove was an unbelievable team that year.
Well, we'll see what Maine East can do on offense as the clock runs. And I thought it was the fourth quarter, but they're already starting the running clock.
They have, yeah.
So I guess this might be a extenuating circumstance.
Yeah, yeah.
Same
yeah.
thing for basketball. If you're up by more than 30, they don't run the clock till the fourth
Right.
quarter.
We've got a first and 10, 18-yard line.
Yeah, this is a good win for Elk Grove. Obviously, Maine East has had their struggles. Elk Grove understands who they're playing, but man, we've called out so many different names with such great plays, and you still got to make the plays. I don't care who you're playing.
The protection has been there tonight. There's a good completion as he gets it out to Timothy Cato.
First down, Maine
So
East.
the offensive line is not the problem for Maine East.
No, I don't believe so. And surprisingly, I don't know if you remember, but I don't remember Elk Grove bringing any more than 4
No.
the whole night.
I
They
mean,
didn't need to, right?
when you've got Al-Awadi at left tackle, that pretty much solves your issue of can you run the ball. But
Yeah.
when everybody else is under 6 foot, it definitely makes it easier for the D tackles and DNs that are not lined up against Al-Awadi. As going in motion is Hakakaria. As they'll run at that time to Omari, and Omari's got some room to run.
74 made the difference on that play. He just sealed the edge. A clean offensive line play, and a quarterback got rid of the ball quickly to the running back, and it's a quick 6 yards.
It's an important position. Kurt Warner was great, but he had Orlando Pace to
Yeah.
protect him.
Yeah, no kidding. Used to crack me up when fans would say Orlando Pace was overrated. I find that hard to believe.
Some people will say Kurt Warner was overrated because if Trent Green was running the offense,
Right.
it wouldn't have mattered because Pace was the left tackle. I disagree with that.
I
but-
do too, wholeheartedly.
But Trent Green had some great years with Kansas City, so
Well, Warner was just such a great story, right?
Yeah.
Bagging groceries a couple years ago and wins the Super Bowl 3 years later.
did you know that when Warner went to NFL Europe, his backup quarterback was Jake Delhomme?
Oh, gosh.
And of course, Delhomme was that great underdog story, led the Panthers to the Super Bowl 2
Right.
years after they went 1-15.
Right?
Just some great underdog stories in the history of the National Football League.
Same side on a run. He's got some yardage. That might be enough for a first down.
You know, you want to score a touchdown here, and honestly, it wouldn't be out of the question to think field goal. I mean, you got to get some points on the board. Nobody wants to get shut out.
I agree with you. I go back to that high school thing. Sometimes a season is more about teamwork, teammates, and coaches teaching kids how to maybe grow up, take some adversity. You get to college, it's a whole different level, in my opinion. You're in it to win it, or there is no option. Win or lose.
Football teaches you a lot of skills that you can learn in life.
Oh, for sure. Elk Grove's still flying to the ball. Oh, gosh, there's 3-4 guys at the ball every time.
Once again, looks like the ball carrier, Isaac Hernandez.
Well, it's not going to count for tiebreakers, but you definitely would impress the committee if you won 100-0 tonight. Now, obviously, Elk Grove's coaching staff isn't pushing for that, but,
No, I don't think so.
but the players are, because they know, look, we're not going to be in this position again. If we're 5-4, but one of our wins was 100-0 against Maine East, it definitely shows something to the committee.
Yeah, I've sat in a couple rooms with Miles. I just don't see him being that type, but you never know. Another
I think
gang
what was-
tackle.
I think what makes Bill Belichick so great is the year they went undefeated, and they were running up the score. I don't know who was against, and people were getting mad because it was like 58-0, and Brady was still playing. And Bill Belichick was like, I'm not going to take a knee. Here it is. Let's see if you can stop it.
Yeah.
And the opposition couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
So,
You get to the pro ranks, that all goes by the wayside. It's
so at the end of the day, you can't just take a knee. Eventually, here's the play, and you got to stop it. But if Elk Grove's up 63-0 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, yeah, they could probably take a knee.
Fumble.
Fumbled snap.
ball still loose.
Yeah,
Maine East got it.
Yeah, Maine East gets it.
Boy, that ball was on the ground what seemed to me like an eternity. Nobody could find it except the running back. Third and 5. I'm stealing some of my information from Ken Grams, the PA announcer here. I don't think he's ever missed an Elk Grove High School football game since 1965.
Four down territory for Maine East. Even if they get sacked, they'll probably still go for it inside the 50.
Yeah, not only score, but field position there, right? Going
Faking
with a
your
hard
blitz.
count.
Single back. And they're going to run it.
Yeah,
Run
draw
it to
play.
Omari. That's not going anywhere.
Oh, good tackle.
Huge tackle behind the line of scrimmage. The TFL by Anthony Brodagam. Big boy, 6 foot even, 235 pounds.
Yeah, big kid. Boy, he shot the gap, and he wasn't touched.
All right, what play you think here? An out route, a post route, or a fly route?
4 minutes left. It's 4th and 8. I tell you, the wind has picked up a little bit. I would not be surprised with a quarterback draw or a running back again. You just don't want to pick 6, in my opinion.
You could consider the rug route, but you gotta be worried about the pick play.
Well, he's going into the I formation, so.
Yeah, it's probably play action boot.
Yeah.
27 taking the snaps.
Another fumble.
fumbled snap. And after all that, he still had room to run. And a bad pass.
Happy feet a little bit. 27 quarterback. He knows he had that pass wide open. The play was moving just a little too fast for him. If he slows it down in his mind, they probably get the first down. I think he was so anxious to see the kid wide open, he rushed it. Elk Grove takes over on their 46, call it. Yeah.
Yep, do not see Janzak. And I do not see Davenport either, so we'll see who takes the snaps for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm trying to look on the sidelines here. It looks like Ewan's out. Lucas Rogers is out. Where's 2? Yeah, we'll catch the quarterback's number. Yeah. Illegal motion. Or false start, one of the two. So Elk Grove now has Dylan McCrory. McCorry. McCrory.
Yeah, he's got great size for the position, 6'2", 185 pounds, but don't tell Drew Brees or Russell Wilson that.
Yeah, Drew Brees has made a career of being called short.
I mean, I think Jeff Garcia was only 6 foot or
Yeah.
5'11".
Dylan's a junior. Trying to see who was on his hip as running back. I got to catch a number here.
He's running in motion that time was Martinaro.
It's a keeper.
They run it out to the left. On the carry was Joseph Kovliers.
Yeah, not much of a gain. We're still going to be, gosh, I missed that I missed those downs on the scoreboard. 2nd down.
Wouldn't the Bears game be interesting if you didn't know what down and distance it was? You'd have to rely entirely on the public address announcer.
You'd have a social media outcry on that, wouldn't you? That wouldn't take long to hit Twitter and Instagram and everything else that they use.
That would probably be the last days of Soldier Field. They'd have to move to Arlington the next day.
Right.
Little shotgun pass out to the backup quarterback.
Nice cutback. Not much yardage, but still positive.
That's one of those weird rules of football. A jet sweep is considered a pass, not a run. So anytime the 49ers have scored a touchdown on a jet sweep, it's considered a passing touchdown by Jimmy Garoppolo.
Grant Madel with the carry.
This is going to be the story of the offense for Elk Grove. They're just going to take their time.
Yeah, Kyle, it seems like about 40 seconds ago you said it would be a running clock, and we're down to under a minute for the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, so usually it's the 4th quarter, but this might be one of those special cases, knowing that Maine East has 35 players total tonight. Plus, we had a late start due to the rain. Bad snap as the backup QB runs out to the right, holding call most likely against
More
Elk
than
Grove.
likely, yeah. I would think it would be declined. I mean, you're going to be 4th and 8.
And McCory is not listed as a quarterback on the roster, so they might just be running Wildcat.
Yeah, could be.
And interesting, they're going to decline it. I would have accepted it, pushed them 10 yards back, and it would have been a tougher punt. But, I mean, whatever. It's 42-0.
Yeah.
Accepting or declining the penalty isn't going to influence the change of this game.
Yeah, that's the end of the 3rd quarter. So like you said, 42-0, Elk Grove in the lead. We're starting to see a little more, some different names and numbers on the field for Elk Grove, which I absolutely love because, you know, it takes more than 22 guys to play football. And there's some of these kids that, you know, they might get 6-7 plays in their high school career, but they've done it. They've been to summer camp. They do all the work. They do all the sweat. It's good to see some different numbers out there.
And, you know, you never want to think about, oh, what if my starter gets injured? But at the same time, it's obvious Elk Grove's going to win this football game.
Right.
So there's no point in Janzak or Rogers or Ewan being out there risking an injury, because anytime you're out there, an injury can happen unless you're taking a knee.
Right.
So you either take a knee with your 11 best offensive players, or you put your backups in there and see what happens.
Yeah, and that's how you build a program, right? Like I said, Miles Osei's got a very young squad. He's going to get even younger next year. Get some reps, game time reps.
You think they have a shot next week against Hersey?
Boy, I don't know. I don't know much about Hersey, but where's the game at? I think it's at Hersey.
Yeah, I'll check Max Preps, but
I think it's great now that we can talk spreads and over and unders. We didn't used to be able to talk on TV.
I don't think we could still talk about it at the high school level, but if you want to talk the spread for the Bears game, I think that's legal. Not the best putt in the world.
No, I think it was into that wind. That flag is hung up by the rain. I think that it'd probably be 3/4 sideways.
That's what you get for not wearing a punter's number. Come on now, 77 can't be a punter.
Jack of all trades. Hey, wait a minute. You mean you didn't punt? That's the only thing he has.
What's the typical punting number, like 42?
Yeah, or the high teens sometimes.
Colin Kalinowitz on the punt.
Yeah, I figured Garrett would punt. That's the only thing he hasn't done today. Turned out to be a beautiful night. Wow.
Yeah, like I said before, it's just been a great late summer run for the Chicagoland area. Another clean pocket. Like we've said during this broadcast, the offensive line has not been the issue.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure that's a lineman.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, here we go.
I like the effort. I like the fact that he thought, what the heck, I'm going to try.
Now, that is a legal play if it's deflected, but I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either. 53, I think, down for Maine East. I'm guessing cramp, leg cramp. Maybe not.
That's Gino Castaneda.
Hopefully it is a leg cramp.
I mean, they've got great size on this offensive line. You got Castaneda, 6'3", 250.
Yeah.
Edgar Torres, 6'3", 265. But you need more than an offensive line. You need skill position players. You need rhythm. And somebody's got to get open. Honestly, their court 27 hasn't had a great game, but just nobody's really been open for him. He's got no one to really throw to.
No. No, you need separation speed, and you know that's the beauty and the curse of high school sports. You have no idea what you're getting year to year. You know, you think you got these travel programs or these feeder programs for basketball, whatever, but you're at the mercy of your community. Unless you're Loyola, Vine, or St. Pat's.
Well, those are private schools.
Yeah, right.
Technically, you can reach out to those school districts and say, hey, do you want to play at St. Patrick? And
yeah, I'm almost 100% certain, Kyle, this was a cramp because they were working on that calf pretty hard.
yeah, he should be fine to play next week if he wants to.
Yeah, Jimmy Less at St. Pat's, he was a Bradley grad back in the 80s. He always has talent. It might not be state champion talent, but he's always got a big number 4, a big number 5. He just, Mike North from radio. Mike North, he's actually, and I don't think he has anymore, but 5-6 years ago, he was an assistant coach with Jim Less at St. Pat's for basketball. About 6-7 years.
The only problem with St. Pat's is when they get to the state tournament, they got to go up against East St. Louis. I don't know what they feed those kids in East St. Louis, but they are just phenomenal at both football and basketball.
Yeah, that's a whole other level, right? All right, 10:28 running clock in the fourth. Still 42-0, obviously, and Maine East is second in a bunch.
There we go. Time to run and breaking through a tackle, close to the first down marker.
Went from second in a bunch to 3rd and 3. Good run.
Yeah, they haven't run the jet sweep a lot today, but when they ran it, it worked.
Yeah, to your point, Kyle, I don't think Dylan's thrown a ball since he's been in there. I think Elk Grove is just going to rely on the run. Maine East, there's not much they can do at all about the clock, so I'm going to guess they're just going to say, hey, listen, let's put it all on the line. Let's try to get some points, 3 or 7.
And if they do score a touchdown, we will stop the running clock.
Yep.
So then it would be decision time for Elk Grove if they want to do 3 runs and a punt or if they want to get back to their passing attack. Another fumbled snap, but 27's got time to run, breaks a tackle, breaks another one.
Moves. So I don't want to say the word complain, but what we talked about Maine East in the first quarter is when wrapping up, waist or below, Elk Grove was right there, just fell into the same trap, trying to arm tackle above the waist, and kid had a couple moves, and gets 12 yards.
On that last play, the tacklers for the Grenadiers.
When you have a good lower body, a good base, it doesn't really matter how big that guy is. If you can get low and get a good momentum at him to tackle, you're going to bring down a lot of people. When you go arm tackle, unless you can bench press 400 pounds,
Right.
It's just not going to work.
Hey, listen, my favorite player of all time in football, Earl Campbell. Guy had 36-inch thighs. I have a 36-inch waist. He used those thighs all the way to the Hall of Fame.
Probably the best bruiser back we've ever seen.
He's wide open.
And he's wide open, and he dropped it. That would have been a golden opportunity for Maine East to score some points if he had caught it and gotten the first down.
I don't know what happened to the Elk Grove defender. He was giving him, he was keeping him between him and the goal line, and all of a sudden he made a beeline, but the ball just sailed over his head. Maine East receivers are going to want that one back.
Yeah, it just hasn't been their night, hasn't been their season.
No. Yeah, I agree. It's been a while. Down to 7:56 now.
But a couple of their kids also play basketball, so they got a lot to look forward to a couple months from now. Another hand up off the middle.
Good
Breaking
run.
some tackles.
Good run.
Now with the running clock, unfortunately, that will not stop the clock, but a good run by Amari.
Good run.
Amari to about the 30-yard line, picks up 17 yards.
And this might be the last possession of the game for Maine East, so they got to hustle.
It's at the 31-yard line, 16
Yeah, no, he got a first down.
First down for Maine East.
Yeah, whether they score or they don't, I don't see him getting the ball back with the running clock. It just goes too quickly.
I formation, looks like a power I. And knowing this is their last possession of the game, they're going to take their time. Man, they're just having so many troubles with those.
Yeah, the exchange is pretty rough.
They almost fumbled, rolling out to the right. Some of that might be on the quarterback and the center not being on the same wavelength when it comes to the snap count.
And I'm not sure if that field's dried out from all that rain that we had. No excuses, but we got I want to say, no meteorologist, but 3/4 inch of rain in an hour. It's coming down like sheets.
Yeah, Janzak had a couple of passes he couldn't grip. If you're just joining us, thanks for joining us. First of all, it was 35-0 Elk Grove in the first half, and if you wondered why the second half has gone so fast, well, they've done the running clock since the second half started. Roll to the right to Omari, and that's one thing that Elk Grove's going to have to work on next week is getting more penetration with their defensive front, but the good thing is they're not going to have to worry about a guy being 6'8", 315 pounds at left tackle.
And I think you're seeing a couple kids in there that didn't play in the first half. I love getting kids reps as much as you can.
Well, here we go inside the red zone.
1st and 10, 5:44 left in the game.
They're going to run Amari in motion, fumbled snap.
Elk Grove's got the ball.
Hate to see it.
You do hate to see it. It's a good play, Elk Grove. Point of attack. Took advantage of the situation.
Unfortunately, that one's on the quarterback. It was a good snap. You got to catch the ball and you got to hand it off.
I think it got too far into his body and just bounced off a pad.
That's why you always got to have both hands ready as a quarterback. At all times, having the hands out. Even for a split second, if they're not out, you can drop it like that. This might be victory formation for the Grenadiers.
Well, like you say,
we'll
the running clock, it's not going to take long. They might try a couple runs for first down, and then for sure that would be it.
And this is their backup tackle going into the game, Ashton Diaz. A lot of juniors and sophomores on this team.
Yeah, they're young this year. I believe JV, if that's what we're calling it, or sophomores, prior to the game, they were up 26-0 with the rain delay, so they won that game. I believe they won last week as well.
So the youth is on its way at the varsity stadium. Onward to victory is the motto here at beautiful Elk Grove Football Stadium, and they're definitely going to get a victory tonight.
Well, I know Miles. He's an upstanding guy, but don't kid yourself. He's going to be pretty happy to throw up a goose egg for his defense.
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously they lucked out on that fumbled snap, but
Right.
I mean, even if they'd only given up 7, how good they've been today, it would have been fine. But yeah, a goose egg on defense is great.
Draw play, nothing but yardage. First down. Grant Madel.
Yeah, that guy's a little guy.
Yeah, he is.
Grant Madel,
Sophomore.
just 125 pounds.
Heart of a lion.
But you know what? If you got the speed and the agility, Darren Sproles was not that much heavier.
Right. He had a fairly decent long NFL career. Yeah.
Another guy the Bears should have drafted and didn't draft.
Well, that list is hard to look at anymore.
There was actually a rumor the Bears were interested in LaDainian Tomlinson. And they didn't like something on one college highlight, so they put him off their draft board. I love the Bears, but they've had their fair share of mistakes when it comes to drafting players.
Well, I told you earlier I'm a Titans fan, and I'll tell anybody. When you live in Chicago, I'm a Bears fan, huge Bear fan. I want to see them win, but you got to find an AFC team. You double your chances. You double your chances of enjoying a football season. That's all I can tell you.
Did you grow up in Nashville?
No, I grew up in Elk Grove my whole life. I was a Houston Oilers fan as a kid.
Little run play to the
sweep
left.
here. Oh, we had the
There you
move.
go,
Good
the first
tackle.
great open field tackle
Yeah.
we've seen from Maine East.
Really nice tackle. Wrap up, twist, and get to the ground.
Get both of those hands around the legs and drive them into the turf. Get to a good position, get that good core going, and take him to the turf.
We're going to be under 2 minutes before this ball is snapped. That's Grant Madel again, right? Yeah, 22, Grant Madel. I'd like to see him get the ball again.
Yeah, they're just running Wildcat most of the time. Madel in the Wildcat. Instead, they snap it over to McCory. And Madel brought down a couple yards past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, some positive yards. Got another cramp down on Maine East. He's holding his hamstring.
I believe that should stop the clock, but they're not stopping it. Now, there we go.
Yeah, they did, finally.
So after this, it'll probably be victory formation for the Grenadiers. Yeah, it's been a pleasure working with you, John.
You too, Kyle. We've done a couple things in the past. More than happy to do it again anytime soon. Again, thanks to, I'm sorry, Deb, I was going to call Channel 6 again. Elk Grove TV for everything they do for us. Like I said before, they don't just do sports. They do so many different events here in the village. Tomorrow's the parade. This crew is going to have a short turnaround and have to set up for the Elk Grove parade. Ross, Deb, everybody, Scott, everybody in the crew, we thank you as a community, really. Do a nice job.
So what a game tonight for Elk Grove. They scored 35 points in the first half, and if they hadn't had the running clock, it might have been 70-0, but
You're not kidding.
but they had the running clock, and the final score is going to be 42-0, and we'll see if this is taking a knee or if they'll run another running play.
I can't bet, but I say $1 Madel gets it.
They're going to let the little guy run it out to the left.
It's the water ball.
Breaks a
There it
tackle.
is.
He's
There
got
it
room
is.
to run.
Go ahead, Grant. Go ahead.
Madel gets past the last defender and will end the
That's it.
game on a touchdown.
That's a big touchdown for Elk Grove. The sideline's going nuts. You know this kid's working hard in practice. He's one of those guys, maybe people told him no, and there's a varsity touchdown as a sophomore. Good for him.
The cherry on top of a shutout victory for the Elk Grove Grenadiers.
Good for him. Boy, he had some nice sideway moves there. I can see why coach what he sees him as a running back.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
Ah, come on. It's 42-0. Let them play. All right, whatever. Okay, yep, they are going to say a hold.
Yep. That's a shame.
Well, the fans will consider it a touchdown.
I do. It was a great run.
Come on. Let them have the score.
We're just under a minute, so I don't know that we'll even. I guess we'll take a knee here. I would think Miles will do that. Boy, that's a shame. That was a great run by Grant.
Yep. Earl Campbell would have been proud.
Yes, he would have. Let's see if he gets it.
Eddie George would have been proud too.
42 seconds. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not taking a knee. They're going to run it again.
The same play.
It is the same play. He gets
got
out
it
to the
again.
right, and he'll be
Good
brought
tackle,
down.
Good tackle.
And that will do it for
That'll do
tonight's
it.
broadcast.
Kyle, thanks again, man. I always have fun with you. I hear you're doing a couple other high school games in the near future. I wish you luck, but you don't need it. You don't need it.
I appreciate it, John, as
No
always. So
problem.
for our excellent crew tonight, all our awesome camera operators, for Debbie Dennison, Ross Rowe, and Scott Mayer, and a final score as the final seconds tick down. A 42-0 win for the Grenadiers over the Maine East Blue Demons. And we'll see you next time on Elk Grove Television Sports.
So long.